with our podcast. Welcome to the lounge. I'm Matthew Tonis with my co-host Gavin Shaw. Tonight is a special Taylor Place Pageant edition of the lounge. We're here with Mr. Taylor Place Gabriel Sandler and Miss Taylor Place runner-up Kristina Vicario. How's it going, guys?
Sorry, I'm sending a text.
Well.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm glad
Very professional, Mr. Taylor.
I'm glad our podcast is that important to you.
The girlfriend takes priority.
Fair enough. All right.
Yes.
So tonight was the second annual Miss Taylor Place competition. We had
First annual.
Yeah.
was it first?
First.
Oh,
Get your facts straight.
I'm
Thomas.
sorry.
Jeez.
I thought it was second, and
Dude,
we
do
had
4.5 hours of background research, and you don't know which annual pageant this is.
yeah. I didn't think it was that important.
You do background research?
4.5 hours, Gabriel. I wouldn't lie to my listeners.
That's more time than you
I would
spend on
exaggerate to
anything.
my listeners. I wouldn't lie to my listeners.
All right. Let's. We have places to be. Christina, you competed. How do you think it went? I mean, other than the fact that you didn't come home victorious, you should have.
No. I thought it went really well. I love Katie who won. She's really sweet, and I did it. I didn't really do it like for the pageant. I did it because I get really nervous playing in front of people, and when I play in front of people, it makes me like better at it, I guess. So that's why. I mean, I didn't like enter myself into it, but I mean, when you get nominated.
Who nominated you for it?
I think a CA from each floor.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
You know, your guitar is beautiful, and you playing on it was also quite
Yes.
the experience.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were excellent tonight, per usual.
Thanks.
Ducks
Stop.
connection.
Just for the viewers that don't know, Tonis and Kristina happen to be from the same hometown.
That's
High
true.
school.
And they didn't plan together to come to ASU. It just happened.
True.
That's true. She followed me here.
I
They ended up on the same
did
floor.
Sometimes fate takes a hand.
Repping the 508 at the pageant today.
Ducks.
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 Let's go Ducks.
I'm 934.
You're a 934 number?
Yeah.
Well, that ruins everything.
That background's really showing.
Who's a 934 number?
The Miss TP runner-up?
Parrot.
No, I'm not the runner-up.
You're runner-up.
You're
Christina
runner-up.
Vicario. Wait,
Sorry.
so Christina, I'd just like to ask you,
One-
what did you think about your other competitions? I thought the singing in the last round was incredible. It seemed like every single girl knew what they were doing. I thought there was going to be one or two flubs, but it seemed like everyone
That
was really
songwriting
consistently doing it.
Yeah, the
Beautiful
girl
song.
who wrote her own song was amazing. I thought she had a really cool voice, and she was so cool. I wish I could do that. And
Really neat.
yeah, I thought Tamsin was really good with the whole like cup thing and everything. Like that was really cool. And then yeah, everyone just did really well.
Yeah, I thought it was a great competition all around. There were really no clear favorites or clear people that did not do as well throughout the entire competition. They did a really good job at picking the talent through this competition.
Not to mention, like, you guys actually accomplished something. Like, being Mr. TP was a lot of fun, and I hope entertaining for the audience. I didn't have to do jack
That's,
to help society. You guys raised some
Yeah, this
really
was
awesome
for
awareness.
domestic violence. Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is a
it was
great
good.
cause.
Yeah, I'm not really like a pageant person, but I mean, this is for a cause, so that's why I did it.
Gabriel, be serious here. This is a professional podcast.
Your just looks on your face.
On my
No,
face?
no, Tonis is
Oh.
always.
So, Gabriel, just transitioning to you. You are Mr. Taylor Place.
Yeah, I am the Mr. Taylor Place for the 2014 4th Annual Pageant.
Wow.
You got toilet paper, right?
I got a 24-pack of like double pleated toilet paper, which is advertised as being the equivalent of 48 rolls of toilet paper, and I got a bedazzled toilet paper holder that has an additional 3 rolls in it.
Wow, that's a lot of
That's some
TP,
valuable
It's a solid
stuff.
week's supply of toilet paper.
especially when Matthew is in here.
Especially then.
Shout out to Matthew.
So what were the emotions going through your mind during your competition?
You know, I was reluctant to do it, and then I decided I would probably have a lot of fun doing it, and so I kind of just went like all out embarrassing enthusiasm, at least on the inside.
Did Louis Armstrong move you to do it? I know his spirit resides inside of you.
So on that, like, I do have a haunting Louis Armstrong impersonation. I will brag about that. But it's a collaborative effort. I have to summon him from heaven, and it's Louis Armstrong. Like, it's not like he's doing nothing up there.
Well, Gabriel, at the end of the show, we're gonna have you start summoning now. You're gonna send us out with some Louis Armstrong. Kristina, before you get going, I wanted to ask you one more question. What made you decide to do for the second part, the Ode, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? How did you
Beautiful.
Oh,
I thought that was the highlight of the entire
We have
podcast.
exclusive audio of her performance of Rihanna from the third round, but I regret to inform the audience that we did not pick up any of her Fresh Prince
I'd like to hear
Ode to
your
Richard
take
the
on that,
Omelet
because
Guy.
Laura actually came up to us after and she said she saw the judges' faces and they were like astounded by that performance and they apparently gave you a ton of points for that.
Will
Really?
Smith would have been astounded by that
It's
performance.
true. It was
I
beautiful.
love The Fresh Prince, and so I was channeling him, and I like writing poems, but I thought it would be more fun. I know.
Will Smith is living.
Yeah, why
You said channeled him, so.
Oh, no, I know he's living.
I'm glad.
I Am Legend was not real. He did not actually die.
There was an alternate ending
I knew
where
that,
he
you
lives,
guys.
so even
That's
then.
upsetting.
I channeled him from, wherever he is now in his big old
LA.
LA. West Philadelphia,
Yes, of course.
Born and raised.
But no, what was the question? Oh yeah. Sorry, this is so long.
We've got them all on tangent.
Wait, yeah, so I just did that because I like writing poems, but I thought it'd be more fun to just do a little rap, so.
That was really unique.
The audience
Thanks, guys.
loved it. They ate it up. It was probably the best performance of that round of all the odes
Thanks.
Probably
And
the best cover ever.
ever. That's a bold assertion, but I won't argue with it.
Wow.
Because it's true.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
You're very welcome. It was stirring to say the
I was
least.
very nervous.
You did not show it at all. Gavin, anything else you'd like to know
I
from
have nothing else.
our contestants?
from the-
All right. Christina, I know you have a lot of homework, so if you'd like to go take care of that, we will let you go. Unless you want to stay on throughout the entire podcast, but it can get boring.
I don't
Sorry to our
Good
listeners.
thing to say.
I'm kidding. It's riveting,
This is why you
guys.
stay with us.
Christina,
I do
Victory,
understand.
Vicario.
Vicario, as I've been told multiple times during basketball segments.
But not by me,
No. You were. I was. by
According to
myself.
everyone at our high school, no one knows except for
I
Christina.
don't like correcting people. It's not a big deal. It's
See, she's so polite.
She's modest.
Well, but thank you for
Winner in our hearts.
thanks, you guys. Thanks for
Bye,
coming.
Christina. Have a
Bye.
lovely
Bye.
night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
All right, that was
Now let's
Christina
move on.
Vicario.
What a delight, though.
She's a
When-
beautiful soul, as
when-
Jason McCartney once said.
When she initially complimented the other contestant when she went up, I was like, wow, is she just doing that to get points? And I remember it was Christina. It was genuine niceness and modesty. And
She was voted friendliest in the Duxborough High School class of 2013.
That's what you want to win.
That adds up.
It does. She's a great individual and a treasure to have.
You're her protector.
Stop.
Now, speaking of protection, let's move on to the Tonis-Kaylee relationship update. Tonis, I know you recently asked Kaylee to prepare it formal.
That's correct. I did through the prompting of one Mr. Taylor Place Gabriel Sandler.
I think it was a little bit more prompting as an understatement. Gabriel, you want to tell the audience what you did tonight?
I would describe it as me taking the initiative on Tonis' behalf to steal his phone and in sloppy grammar text Kaylee if she was interested in going to the Barrett Forum.
Kaylee was very critical of sloppy grammar.
In other words, I showed him a text on my phone. He proceeded to take it out of my hands and text, "Do you, period, want to go to the Barrett Formal?"
Want capitalized.
To which Kaylee replied, "Kinda." So, resound.
Enthusiasm from
In
Kaylee
this
Nassar.
relationship, there is only ever ringing endorsements.
It's always out of this world, either positives or negatives.
At least you live on the extreme.
Exactly.
You chose,
Kinda.
you chose chaos, not control.
Exactly.
Gabriel Chaos Sandler.
That's his nickname.
Right.
Also, well, she was going to go with somebody else. A friend.
Quentin. Oh,
Quentin Woods.
what a dream! God, Quentin's the cool. He taught
Quentin
me.
the Body Woods.
Quentin Woods taught me how to chop wood in Greer, Arizona, and it was such a masculine experience.
Someone
and
has a crush.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. Quentin Woods is a dreamboat.
I've heard from numerous sources, anonymous sources that live in room 806 in Taylor Place, that Quentin Woods should never wear a shirt ever.
Anonymous sources.
Anonymous
Room
sources.
806. Room 806, the one that doesn't talk with an occasional British accent. Anonymous.
We should be so lucky.
Honestly. Well, but once I heard that Kaylee was planning on going with Quentin, the thought immediately popped in my mind that, hey, I should really take her so Quentin doesn't steal her, and even though he is in a committed relationship,
Quentin could compete for Angelina Jolie with Brad Pitt. He wouldn't win, but he could compete.
He could be in there.
He would be a finalist, semi-finalist, probably.
Runner-up.
Yeah, I think so.
When we talk about Quentin, we talk about doing work, and if you know my work habits, well, why not do it? We're going nice. We have a line leading into the second game.
This is Stalin with Shaw.
You just messed with it. Stalin with Shaw. Let's go through it. Okay, in the next, what time is it right now, Matthew?
11:03 p.m.
Okay, bye.
Matthew, that's weird.
I went with a Matthew, and we're in Matthew's room. I had to go with Matthew. Yeah. Anyways,
True.
just for confusion's sake. Well,
Hey. Gavin, stop stalling.
All right, so
It's
by
too easy.
12 o'clock tonight, we're gonna have to wrap up this podcast quickly. I have 6 Spanish activities due
At midnight.
at midnight.
So if we wrap
And-
up by midnight, they'll be late.
Well, that's not going to happen. It's not that long a show.
I think we should just keep going.
And outside of that, and I have to
One
submit
more
an
hour.
enterprise idea to Miss Chilladare. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to Miss Chilladare, all of our JMC teachers, and I think she's been nothing but a delight so far.
She's a beautiful individual, great professor. She always has a bright, smiling face. Oh wait, that's me every class.
We'd like to
Ridiculous.
meet. This was actually something I wanted to talk about with Gabriel. She has an incorrect opinion of Tonis. I want to say a skewed, but that's not strong enough.
I'll give the background on that. She asked the class how we're doing. It's a formality.
Yeah.
This isn't actually something she overly cares about. And Tonis always says he's doing great. So
I
Professor,
say very well.
whatever you say, it's untrue.
No,
And
it's just
Adair-
false enthusiasm. You're not an enthusiastic individual.
I
And so
enjoy going to her class.
And what's even
It's not
crazier is
genuine.
she only dismissed this high opinion of him when he was honest about not taking ASU too far in his NCAA bracket.
correctly,
Elizabeth-
might I add.
But she was very offended.
You're a hater, Tonis.
So
G.E. Carson would say you hate the fam, even.
I don't hate the fan.
But it's
You
worth
just
the,
hate just G.E.
I don't hate Jiggy.
the paradox
Just the
here
fam.
is Professor Adair went from liking Tonis because of a lie to hating him because of a truth.
That might be a little bit accurate. Technically, it's not a lie. I do enjoy going to JMC.
Technically, it's not technical.
You're confusing me.
That's the goal.
Well,
Doing very well now.
yeah, Gavin. Any enterprise ideas that you've come up with yet?
Well, I was thinking of talking about a little bit about ASU basketball and their recruiting situation. They've been pretty
Did I not
consistent.
suggest this to you?
You gave me the you said something about football. Yours included football, though. I appreciated the help. Yours definitely very, very directly led me to this idea.
Inception.
Sure.
Why not?
And then saw it 3 times, including once in Japan. Anyways, we'll save that for next podcast, though. Probably not. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why ASU basketball has struggled, because they're, as a state, located relatively close to Texas and California in a nice setting, beautiful Tempe campus. Maybe not the best academic reputation, but now we have a strong Barrett community going. I think
But the basketball players really generally care.
Cronkite and nursing and the WV Carey School are all top 20.
I'm not saying students don't care. I'm saying typically basketball players are not the most academically inclined.
It's surprising to me that ASU is not, even in football too, now they're starting to turn that around, but in basketball, not more of a dominant recruiting power, when Arizona, obviously a huge factor is tradition and superior coaching over time, but a school that's located in Tucson, Arizona is a national power. Why can't ASU eventually become that? And I'm interested in finding that out, so I'm going to
That's a
ask
very
the necessary questions.
that's a great idea, Gavin, and I think you can
Mostly
take that
courtesy
pretty
of
far.
Gabriel.
Well, Gabriel, you're brilliant as usual.
Gavin and I are holding hands.
I
right
was
now.
gonna say you can't see because it's a podcast, but we're holding hands.
That's adorable.
It's a moment that you now get to share with us.
I'm sure the audience greatly appreciates their involvement in your intimate moment there.
I hope so.
Now let's get to our final segment, Turn Down with Tonis. Tonis, what's going on in the Phoenix area over the weekend?
Well, in the Phoenix area this coming weekend, I don't want to give too much away since I believe we're having another podcast, before the end of the week. But
I thought we were saving it for Monday.
hey, you know what? We may or may not.
It depends. John from Guam is on next week, and he's been very insistent
The
about being on the
lounge,
podcast.
which is this podcast is the peak of consistency.
So I think
Well,
I think John decides when the next one is on because he had a look in his eye like he was going to get very aggressive.
All right.
He came all the way from Guam.
to do this podcast.
so all right, so folks, we may or may not have a new podcast before the end of the week. But I'll give you a taste of what's going on in the Phoenix area this coming weekend. Your Phoenix Suns, after completing their road trip
Ignite.
tomorrow night, I believe, against the Washington Wizards. Is that correct, Gavin? They play tomorrow?
I'm fairly sure.
All right.
That is what Tyler Prime told me.
That's what I believe.
But he ended it as a question, so I don't know how sure he is.
All right, so the Phoenix Suns, after their game in Washington to finish up their series, will return home this Friday to take on your New York Knickerbockers.
I'm incredibly excited. The Knicks had another sterling effort tonight after winning 8 games in a row. They lost to the Kyrie Irving-less Cleveland Cavaliers, otherwise known as the Philadelphia 76ers.
Hey, Spencer Hawes is great.
It was actually he's on the team too. It was the Cavs, but they're about as good as the 76ers. And tonight they had another sterling effort against the Los Angeles Lakers. Final score
Sterling.
127-96.
Sterling is in owner Donald Sterling.
Well,
correct?
he's the Clippers owner, but
Right. Well, they're playing the Clippers tonight, right?
the Lakers.
Oh, they lost that bet to the Lakers.
That's why it was Sterling.
Yikes! The Knicks, after being in close playoff contention,
a
are
Lakers team whose starting center tonight, Chris Kaman, to quote Chris Kaman, I haven't spoke to head coach Mike D'Antoni in 3 weeks. Chris, you're on the team and you're not injured.
There's something wrong with the Lakers.
Mike Woodson was the guy who replaced Mike D'Antoni. So lesson learned: NBA teams don't hire guys named Mike.
Maybe the Lakers are just such like an image of efficiency that the coach kind of just gets to watch.
Maybe he should do some real coaching because this team is going nowhere right now.
Just to give you an idea,
Nothing pleases me more than the Lakers going nowhere.
Just to give you an idea
Up
of
top,
the discrepancy.
we high-fived.
I know we're going off topic here, but just to give you an idea of the discrepancy between the two conferences, Lakers first team to be eliminated from the playoffs. Knicks still technically in playoff contention.
How is that possible?
And the Lakers are only 5 games worse than the Knicks, and based on tonight, they're probably pretty equal teams. So that just gives you an idea of how horrible this conference system is.
Well, that's depressing.
Tonis, anything else in turn down with Tonis?
Also this weekend, the McDowell Mountain Music Festival.
And the Barrett Formal.
No, that's in April.
Oh.
I got the date wrong.
So we can go!
Yes, we can go, Gabriel.
Yay!
The McDowell Mountain Music Festival will be taking place this Friday through Sunday in Hance Park in Phoenix. Downtown Phoenix. I will be going on Saturday, along with a close personal friend of the show and director Tyler Prime. We're going to see some Dispatch and Slightly Stupid and Disco Biscuits.
I'll be watching the Elite Eight, so you enjoy Disco Biscuits.
All right, you can text us scores.
Sure, you can text me how good Disco Biscuits sounds.
Disco Biscuits is good.
Sure.
It just doesn't, no.
All right, fine. Also,
You're wrong.
Also, my mother is visiting this weekend.
Oh, Mama Tonis.
Yes, she will be in town. I will get to
Does
see
Mama
her.
Tonis call you Tonis or Matthew?
It depends on the
I
day.
heard, Marcus Barahall, shout out to Marcus Barahall, and Josh Bass were both really weirded out by that. I told them about that. They found it hilarious, also kind of weird.
Well, you know,
What's her
that's...
first name?
What?
What's her first name?
Edie.
Does she call herself Mrs. Edie because you are called Tonis?
No, it depends on the day, what she refers to me as, and the situation going
I'm
on.
picturing introducing this family. This is Mr. Tonis, Mrs. Tonis, Tonis.
Well,
Jonathan.
that's sometimes how it goes.
Jonathan Tonis.
Yeah, that's my brother's name. Well, you know, I think I'm just about gonna do it.
Gabriel, can you wait? Turn off the music. We're gonna have Gabriel take us out with some Louis.
Oh, okay.
I'm just the vessel guy.
All right, here's Gabriel Sandler's rendition of Louis Armstrong.
I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night, Tonis and Gavin.
The lounge.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful
Podcast.